Hey everyone, I'm Tassinix, and welcome back to the second video on the Gungan faction for how to mod them. I'm making this in the order of the release for F2P farmability, so that brings us to Tarpals next. We did Boss Nass last video. Before we jump into his kit, I do want to cover the impact of the leadership, so I'll just highlight that real quick from Boss Nass. Alright. Boss of Otogunga. Gungan allies have plus 30% max protection and offense and plus 30 speed. Whenever a Gungan ally attacks out of turn, they inflict speed down for 1 turn. The first time each Gungan ally drops below 50% health, they gain 50% bonus protection for 2 turns. If there is an allied shield generator, whenever it loses a stack of recharge, Gungan allies gain 1% max protection, max 50% until the end of the encounter. If the shield generator is defeated, Gungan allies gain 50% turn meter. At the end of each Gungan ally's turn, they remove a stack of recharge. So, we take a cue for that for maybe our survivability primary. We're looking at protection. And then there's, a powerful bonus inflicting speed down whenever Gungans are attacking out of turn. Let's jump right into Tarpal's kit. Alright, I'd like to cover his unique first. I think this is probably the better way I'm going to do this going forward because it generally shapes the character, and then we'll cover his abilities after that. So, his unique, Misa think of something. At the start of battle, Captain Tarpals loses 75% max health and gains that much max protection. Whenever Captain Tarpals attacks out of turn, deal bonus true damage equal to 5% of his max protection, which can't be evaded. And he and the weakest other Gungan ally recover 10% protection. Whenever Captain Tarpals scores a critical hit, remove 1 stack of recharge from allied shield generator. Gungan allies gain 5% defense penetration for 1 turn, stacking for each stack of recharge removed from allied shield generator. So, if you saw my previous video on Boss Nass, you're actually wanting the recharge stacks to go down on the shield generator because that brings about a bonus turn. And you definitely want that thing taking as many turns using its basic and refilling your team's protection as many times. So this is pretty nice synergy right here. Captain Tarpals gains 1% turn meter whenever an enemy is inflicted with a debuff. So in the case of you having Jar Jar on this team, the enemy team's going to stack with a stack of frustration, 1 stack each. That's potentially 5% turn meter off rip. So it's something to think about when you're thinking about how to clock this team. Whenever a debuffed enemy attacks Tarpals, he counterattacks. And if there is an active allied shield generator, at the start of Captain Tarpal's turn, dispel all debuffs on himself, ignore taunt, and whenever he attacks out of turn, inflict buff immunity for 1 turn. And so because of Nass's leadership, he'd also be inflicting speed down. It's nasty. I'm not really going to cover the TW battle difference because, I'm not even thinking even a little bit about applying an Omicron for TB. So, yeah. All right, let's move into his basic. Hey, Yusa! Deal physical damage to target enemy and shock them for 1 turn. If the target enemy had any buffs, dispel them and deal damage an additional time. Gungan allies gain advantage for 2 turns. Nice. Ouch time. Deal true damage to all enemies, dealing 10% more damage per debuffed enemy. Remove 10% turn meter from all enemies. Enemies without debuffs are staggered for 1 turn. Separatist enemies without debuffs are stunned for 1 turn, which can't be resisted, so this just crushes Separatists. Remove 2 stacks of recharge from the allied shield generator. This ability can't be evaded. So this is a powerful synergy move with what his unique does, right? And, you're thinking again, he's doing... that's a main ability, but gosh, when he's attacking at a turn, he's doing additional true damage. So yeah, this guy could go with either protection or offense. You could have a good mix in his mods, and it would be pretty serious. All right, his last, non-unique ability. No giving up. Deal physical damage to target enemy, dealing 10% more damage per debuff on them, and call target other ally to assist. Gungan allies gain critical damage up for 1 turn and recover 25% protection. Ooh, that is nasty. There is a whole host of abilities on this team that restore and build up your protection. Alright. Inflict marked on the target enemy for 1 turn if they don't already have it. If the target enemy is a separatist, also inflict the enemy leader with marked for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. So again, just a separatist crusher. Alright, next step here. I know folks always ask about team compositions. I did cover this in detail in the Boss Nass video, so I'll point you to that. I'll just briefly show you, the main 5 comp, and then some details about your options for 3s. Again, for full discussion points on that, you can refer to the Boss Nass video. The link to that will be in the comments for this video. Or in the description, rather. Okay, let's see. Let's pull up some mods. I will grab Aesop Rock here for a fine example. Minimize this, and I hope you guys see this right now. No, let me fix that. There you guys go. So, we can see here that you can you want to go offense, because this guy has a great synergy with offense. You can make him decently fast. I originally thought that having him, even up until just a day ago, I was thinking that having him decently slow, like under 270, when I had like a 305 speedish Bombardier, that's kind of where I thought to have him because of that 5% turn meter gain he got off rip. I wanted him to end up being just behind Bombardier, and in the end I'm thinking that, after that initial first turn, he's just going to be uncomfortably slow. So I think having him over 300 speed is pretty decent. You're trying to stack up as much offense on him as possible. I'm able to get him to like 12,000 offense. I'll show you my mods in a minute, but that's with an offense primary. So he's at 11,700 with a protection primary on this cross. That is insane, guys, because remember, he's doing that additional true damage whenever he's called to assist, and it's based on 5% of his max protection, which of course is continuously getting built up over the course of the fight. I will be looking at making a similar substitution myself in the near future. I wanted to point this out, though, because I really appreciate it. Now, you see that his 2-piece is defense. That could just as easily be health, because, again, he does have that conversion, like all the Gungans do, from max health. Some percentage of max health goes to max protection. So you could lean into that, but defense doesn't hurt, because, again, he's punishing enemies who attack him. He's going to be counterattacking a lot of the time, so giving him a little more armor isn't a terrible idea. Let me go ahead and flip over to mine. Virtually the same, actually down to the same sets. Just, oh wow, see, and I actually did switch up some of his primaries, so now I'm 11,700, like pretty much the same offense as he did, but gosh, let's look at the difference. So I have 56,000 health to his 55, and I have 82,000 protection to his 90,000. So we have pretty much the same offense. So yeah, there's probably other good ways to, other viable ways to mod him, but leaning into offense and protection with that crit damage triangle, speed arrow, I think is a reasonable way to go about it. And again, just like I covered in the Boss Nass video, I will just point this out one more time, this is the desired turn order, I think. Even though I've sped up Tarpals since, I don't think I want Tarpals ahead of Bombardier, but you really do want Phalanx, especially if you're going to be putting this on defense. You want Phalanx to be ahead of both of these attackers, because his AI will use his AoE tenacity down, and then your guys just go ham. So if you're thinking, why don't either myself or Aesop feature a lot of potency on the mods, that's why. You can lean into that tenacity down. All right. Last but never least, applications, guys. This is one that you guys ask for. I did cover this in greater detail in the Boss Nass video, so I will, again, point you back to it. But just a brief scroll here of the end of the last 5 season, you can kind of interpolate that you're crushing basically anything Separatist, and that was before the Datacron that just became available. So, yep, DTMG, probably not Slacker with the new First Order Cron, but maybe you're feeling squirrely and want to try. The rest of this looks kind of messy. Maybe Inquisitors, but they have a new Cron as well. Although it is pretty dope that somebody was doing this with like a 4-man last season, and this is when there was an Empire Cron giving a ton of offense on this team. So that's kind of hilarious, actually. And of course, I would expect Gungans to stomp teams of this kind. So yeah, that wraps up Tarpals. He's a pretty straightforward character. You just want to get a lot of offense and a lot of protection on him to just make him sing. So yeah, if you're liking these videos as much as I am liking making them, feel free to leave a comment, hit like, hit subscribe to see more. And until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.